significantly cheaper, around 350. I think I saw it a little bit cheaper than that on eBay. I've been seeing them on Amazon. So this phone used to be easily 400, but now it's trending around this 350 mark here. I think I saw one for 334 in very good condition. The S22 Ultra is also 350 in excellent condition in the used refurbished marketplace. So these are two excellent old flagships. Definitely a bit of a difference here, guys. So there are some pros and cons with, you know, buying these two phones. And let's go ahead and get started here. So first off, the design, they both have very similar designs here, especially when it comes to the camera design. The body shape is a lot different on the S22 Ultra. It is a lot more boxier as opposed to the S23 Plus here. It's a little bit more rounded off on the corners. It's a lot more comfortable to hold. So if you have smaller hands, this is a way more comfortable phone to hold. Now with the S22 Ultra, of course, we do get the S Pen. So we get the S Pen with the Bluetooth capability. We can take pictures from a distance. We can do the air actions, take videos from a distance. So we do have this pen in here, which is a really nice feature, especially since they removed the Bluetooth feature from the newest S25. So you have that. They're both IP68 dust and water resistant as well. Alright, so there is a display difference here. Now the S22 Ultra has a 6.8 inch display. It's a dynamic AMOLED display, 120 Hz HDR10 plus, 1750 nits peak brightness, 1440p 500 for the PPI. It has the Gorilla Glass Victus. What you'll notice is that this is a curved panel, so you may or may not like that. And yeah, it is definitely a bigger, you know, display, and it's a lot more boxier too, so it kind of resembles like a little TV. Now the S23 Plus has the dynamic AMOLED display as well. It's a little bit smaller at 6.6 inches. It's 120 Hz HDR10 plus, and this has the same max brightness at 1750 nits. It is 1080p 393 for the PPI with the Gorilla Glass Victus 2, and it is a completely flat screen. As far as the overall quality of the panels, they both look really good. You can't really tell a difference between the quality. The colors look pretty similar as well. And honestly, it really comes down to, do you like the curved display, or do you want a bigger display? Do you want a flat display that's a little bit easier to hold? So it really comes down to what you're looking for. Me personally, I would go with the S23 Plus simply because it is a little bit smaller and it's a little bit easier for me to manage. But besides that, you really can't go wrong with the displays on both of these. You do have that advantage of watching content in 2K on the S22 Ultra. But besides that, the quality of these panels are really good. Let's talk about these specs a little bit more here. So as we await the Android 15 update, which is supposed to be dropping very soon for the S23 series, I will cover that for you guys. And it also will drop for the S22 series as well. Both these phones get 4 MajorOS updates. So the last update, MajorOS update, will be Android 16 for this. The last update will be Android 17 for the S23 Plus. So you do have that extra year of software updates. Now this is a big deal here when it comes to these processors here. So you have the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 on the S22 versus the 8 Gen 2. And it is definitely a difference when it comes to heating. So that is one thing that I noticed between these two phones. The S22 Ultra will heat up a little bit more than the S23 Plus. Now, also one thing to notice, the base model, you get more storage on the S23 Plus. It's 256 gigs and 8 gigs of RAM versus the 128 and 8 gigs of RAM as well. Besides that, I think general performance is pretty similar on these two phones. Before that, before we open some apps, let's open up 3D Mark and show you guys for reference. So you get 20, almost 23, and then you get 12, and you guys can see the difference there. So I think performance-wise, if you're a heavier user, you're definitely going to go with the S23 Plus for sure. It's not going to heat up as much, and then also we should get better gaming performance for sure. If you play games like Genshin and PUBG, Call of Duty, you will get slightly better gaming performance. And like I said, the heating is definitely going to be a big deal. I've never had like the S22 crash on me or anything like that, but it will definitely get a little bit warm. And if you are somebody who plays a lot of games, the S23 Plus is the easy choice here. But as you guys can see, general performance is really not all that different. You can see animations, getting into applications is not, dramatically different. The S22 Ultra is not really lagging. Got in there, tempo run a little bit faster there for sure. But you guys can see that back animation is really nice on here. So you shouldn't really run into any problems with the S22 Ultra when it comes to just general performance. So, all right, so when it comes to PUBG here, we will get, better settings on the S23. Plus, this is why I was saying, if you're a gamer or just a heavier user, I really like this phone performance-wise, 120 frames, silky smooth on here. And yeah, you should have a great time playing whatever, like Genshin emulators. And it's not that the S22 Ultra is bad at all. We can still play it at 90 frames. And if you're not like really a gamer like that, just coming in here playing like a couple matches, PUBG, Call of Duty, whatever, is fine. But like I said, more serious, you're not going to have that feeling of the phone getting kind of warm on the, S23 Plus here. But as you guys can see, 90 frames, perfectly fine. You could definitely come in here, play a few matches, and yeah, so that's pretty much my opinion on that. I know a lot of people who say like, oh, the S22 Ultra, is it just really slow and you just can't game? You can game on it, but like I said, if I had to pick, I would go with this one. All right, guys, for all of the AI, fans, the AI stuff is here on the S22 Ultra here, same as the S23 here. So the advanced intelligence stuff is here. And yeah, so I wouldn't worry about that at all. I never really used the AI stuff, but like I said, guys, it's here if you guys want to use those features. All right, let's check out these speakers. We're at max volume. So the immediate thing that I noticed, and this is probably my biggest complaint with the S22 Ultra, is that the speakers just straight out the box without doing anything to them, messing with equalization and stuff like that, they sound really flat. So the bass is just not there. The S23 sounds a lot better, and it just sounds a lot fuller. So it's just a more fuller, balanced sound. Yeah, so that's one thing that I've never really liked about the S22 Ultra. Now, the fingerprint scanner is exactly the same on both of these phones. It's the ultrasonic, so you don't have to worry about that. You can use Face Unlock on both of these as well. I'm actually very curious to see what you guys think about the photo quality, because this would be the bigger difference here between these two phones. So you have a 108 megapixel standard on the S22. It's a 10 megapixel telephoto, 3 times optical. Then you have another periscope telephoto lens that's 10 megapixels, 10 times optical, and then you can go all the way up to 100 times. It can shoot, it does have a 12 megapixel ultra wide and then a 40 megapixel selfie cam. Now, you can shoot in 8K 24 on the S22, and then you can shoot in 4K 60 on the front. Now, for the S23, it has a 50 megapixel standard, 10 megapixel telephoto 3 times. This one can get you up to 30 times. And then you also do have a 12 megapixel selfie that can shoot in 4K 60. And the rear camera can shoot in 8K 24 as well. All right, so if you are a lighter user, I'm going to say that the S22 Ultra is fine. I did like a day in the life of this phone at CES. It did perfectly fine. I had no issues at all with this phone, but it to me, it doesn't do that well when it comes to heavier usage. Like if you're going to be running GPS a lot all day and just playing games all day, I find that the S23 Plus is a lot better with battery life, and not only that, it does a lot better with standby time. I think this has a lot to do with one, it's running at 1080p, and then two, it does have a better chip, so the chip efficiency is a lot better. You'd have a bigger battery at 5,000 milliamps, 45 watt charging on the S22, and then 15 watt wireless and reverse wireless charging. But it doesn't really matter. My battery life experience has always been better on the S23 Plus. You have a smaller battery on here. It's 4,700 milliamps. It does charge at the same speeds at 45 watts, and also the same wireless charging and reverse wireless charging. So overall, me personally, I would probably lean a little bit more towards the S23 Plus. For me, it is a lot more comfortable to hold, one, and then also I do like the flat display on here. I like that it's going to get an extra year of MadeOS updates, and I like the more efficient processor here. So the thing about the S22 Ultra, why you would pick this phone, you have to be somebody who is going to be doing a lot of zoom photography, because the zoom is just going to be a lot better on the S22, especially when we're going past, you know, even 10 times, 30 times, just looks a lot more detailed, a lot more better. And if you want a bigger display, like if you watch a lot of content, you need that bigger display, this is a great phone for that. So yeah, the S Pen as well is also another thing to think about. You could do digital artwork. So it really comes down to what you actually need, guys. So be sure to let me know which phone would you guys pick. I'll catch you guys in the next one.